Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So you're considering getting your first facial. Where do you even go? What treatment should you get? How much should you pay? Who should give you your facial? What should you do before and after? I'm gonna answer all of your questions. And I'm gonna bring you guys along on a facial with me to show you guys what the experience is like, what you should and shouldn't be doing, mistakes I made, and how to get the most bang for your buck. You guys truly have no idea how long this video has been in the works. It has been a long time coming. What is up with my voice? Oof. A long time coming because this isn't just gonna be one video. Nor. This is the start of a very exciting new series that I'm doing here on my YouTube channel, where I'm gonna be giving you all the tips and tricks you need to know for getting facials. That's right, baby! We've started the facial game. I should have started a long time ago. I mean, look at me. I ain't getting any younger. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe because not only am I gonna be making this video, but this is going to be a series where I try all the most popular, most intense, most extreme facial treatments, and I'm gonna be reviewing all of them for you guys. Well, maybe not all of them, but like the ones I can afford or want to spend money on. You get my vibe. It's gonna be a fun journey, but let's start with the basics. So the most important first step that comes with getting your first facial starts before you even walk into a spa, before you even make an appointment. Do your research. It is so important and will make the difference between a terrible facial experience that gives you breakouts, irritated skin reactions versus a positive facial experience that leaves your skin glowing and will hopefully lead to more facials in the future. By research, I primarily mean looking online before you even walk into the facility, and not just their website or their services, reading reviews, what people have to say, if they had a positive or negative experience. This can be so helpful in really helping to guide you in finding a really good facialist. Now, looking at reviews is a great first step, but you also want to look at their website, see what type of treatments and facials they offer, what their philosophy is, and what their typical facial process will look like, because it really does vary depending on where you're going, and also to help you navigate what you should expect. And then as you're looking at their website, make sure to find who their estheticians are, and feel free to take a look at their Instagram profiles, look at their videos or posts, figure out their process, scour through the comment sections and see what people have been saying about their experience with them. If you have friends who regularly get facials, feel free to ask them where they get their facials from, and make sure you ask them what their skin type is, if they have any skin concerns, how this person was able to help them with those concerns. Here's a secret, no one's skin is the same. And just because someone had a positive experience with one facialist does not mean that they're going to be the right facialist for you. But the more people you can find that recommend a place or person, the better chances are that you're gonna have a positive experience. Now, like I told you before, for this video, I went and got a facial, and I ended up getting a facial with Emily. Now, Emily is an incredible person who I've known for a long time, and I really connected with her skincare philosophy. She's a licensed esthetician who is so knowledgeable about skincare, ingredients, formulations, and most importantly, sensitive skin and how to navigate it. She's been such an amazing beacon of knowledge to me, and she set up her own practice, Pinnacle Modern Skincare, which you guys should definitely go check out. Go on Instagram. If you live in the LA area, I highly recommend that you go and visit her because she knows her shit when it comes to skincare. But I specifically wanted to get a facial from her because I already knew that I really identified with her skincare philosophy, knew that she would be safe and careful with my skin, and give me a facial experience that wouldn't lead to like irritation or skin problems. In general, when it comes to looking for a place to get a facial, if they have a lot of open availability, you can walk in there and immediately get a facial. It's super easy to get an appointment. I would venture to say that's not the best sign. Typically, places or facialists that will give you a really good facial are popular. There's a reason why they're so popular. It's because they're so good. Okay, now that you've found a place to go or you found a facialist, now what do you do? The number one tip that pretty much any facialist will tell you, for at least 24 hours before your facial, but I personally would recommend 48 hours, avoid any type of chemical or physical exfoliation, retinol products, tretinoin, or any pore clearing tools beforehand. Typically with most facials, they will be exfoliating your skin in some way, and if you've recently exfoliated or used any harsh treatments, that can easily push your skin over the edge and lead to overexfoliation, irritation, redness, and sensitivity. My next tip is something that people don't usually realize until it's too late. And trust me, you do not want to make this mistake. If you're getting your very first facial, be sure not to do it right before a big event or special occasion. Trust me, don't do it. The reason why is that getting your facial done for the first time can sometimes lead to some skin irritation, your skin getting used to the treatments that were used. And oh my gosh, if you're getting extractions, you definitely don't want that right before a big event. It's completely normal for your skin to, get used to your first facial. And the worst case scenario, if your skin really does not like whatever whatever your facialist decided to do, you don't want to have to deal with those consequences right before a big event. Now, before you go to your actual appointment, take a picture of the products that you currently use or make a list of the entire products in your range, because it's going to be really helpful to show to your facialist for them to get an idea of what you currently use, what your skin can tolerate, what type of experience you prefer, or any red flag formulas that could negatively interact with any products or treatments that they're going to be using. And in addition to that, make a list of, or at least be prepared to talk about every single detail of your skin. A really good facialist is going to want to know everything about your skin beforehand so they can really understand where to meet you with your skin type and skin concerns, and also where they can take you. If you go to a spa and they don't ask you any questions about your skin, just have you sit down, red flag, run, don't do it. That is a really bad sign and could lead to a lot of problems. And just typically, the more that they ask you, the better the experience is going to be. Be very mindful about what products you apply the morning of your facial. And to explain this more, I'm going to introduce you to someone I'm collaborating with for this video, myself, the day I got the facial. So enjoy. Hi guys, it is the morning of the facial. I am so freaking excited to get this facial, but I figured I would lead you through my pre-facial skincare routine because it's really important that you go in with a gentle routine to make sure you're not overdoing it for your skin, but you're still, you know, like protecting and hydrating your skin before you get the facial. I'm gonna start with the Depology Matrixyl 3000 serum. This one is great because it helps to boost the collagen in the skin and just protect your skin from any antioxidant damage that you could get, which I definitely need because right now I am in Los Angeles, pollution central. So I wanna make sure my skin is protected and good to go before. I'm so excited about the facial I'm getting today because first, I'm breaking out so bad. And it's so freaking frustrating. I don't know how I got this. It might have to do with the entire bag of Twizzlers I downed yesterday. I swear, I don't eat candy that much, but every single time I do, I always end up breaking out around my mouth area. It's honestly the best deterrent to sugar because otherwise I would be eating candy all the time. So now I'm gonna go in with the I'm From Licorice Calming Cream. I got this in Korea and I have been loving it. Emily and I go way back to the very beginning of my channel. She was an esthetician that I connected with, and when I was visiting LA, I think like 3 years ago, I was able to meet her. We talked about skincare. She even gave me some skincare from like her personal collection. She is so sweet and so knowledgeable, and I really have her to thank for being one of the first professionals to help educate me more about skincare, how I can better present information to my audience. I've asked her questions when I've been confused over the years. She's just so knowledgeable and has always offered me a helping hand, and she finally opened her own salon. I am so freaking proud of her. And so today I'm going to be going and getting a facial from her. Okay, next up for sunscreen, I want to go in with a non-tinted sunscreen just so it makes it easier to remove when she goes in with the facial process. So I'm going to be going in with the Beauty of Joseon SPF 50 Stick Sunscreen. Y'all already know this one. It's one of my absolute favorites. And while I don't really use this one as like my core sunscreen, I more so prefer to use this one as a touch-up sunscreen. The appointment is an hour, so it's okay if I don't have complete super thick protection, just because I'm not going to be in the sun very long before we have the treatment. But this facial couldn't have worked out better because I'm only in LA for less than 24 hours, and when I was messaging her, she was like, I'm just opening my salon on the exact day that you're coming, and I was like, oh my god! And I can't wait to get this facial started. Okay guys, we are here at the one and only spa. It looks absolutely beautiful. I feel so honored to be one of the first people here. Give us a little rundown of like what's gonna go on, what's gonna happen.
Well, we're gonna do a consultation to try and figure out what Hiram's skincare needs are, what many. How he wants to feel from his facial, what he's interested in. It's like all very important parts.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
But yay! So when I went to get my facial from Emily, she had me fill out this form online that asked me every single tiny little detail of my skin, and I absolutely loved it. There were so many questions about what products I use, what skin sensitivities I have, what I prefer my skin to look or feel like. And while this might seem bothersome at first, it's a really good sign and a great reference point for any facialist as they continue to work with you down the road. And if you say go to a place that you know is good, but they don't really ask you too much information about your skin, tell them anyway. Spill the beans, bitch. So once I submitted the form for Emily and I sat down with her, she continued to ask me more questions about my skin and specifically skin irritation and skin sensitivity, which is very important because you need to make sure that you're disclosing these things. Number one, if your skin has had an allergy or any reaction to a specific skincare ingredient. Number two, any prescription medications that you are taking. Number three, birth control. And number four, if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Do not, under any circumstance, let them proceed with the facial if they haven't asked you these questions beforehand. Now, this next tip really depends on what spa you're going to or what type of facialist you have, but it's really deciding which type of facial you should get. If you're in a spa where, say, they have a menu of different types of facials you should get, put the menu down and listen to my words. Do not start with a very intense, powerful, transformative treatment. I know it's tempting. You're paying money for this cool facial experience. You want to see the best results possible, but the best thing that you can do is to start with a very simple, gentle facial. A nice hydrating facial, maybe a little bit of gentle exfoliation, a hydrofacial experience, a steam facial experience, not a really intense one. Like I said before, the goal here is to make sure that you're not pushing your skin over the edge and regretting getting a facial in the first place. It's much better to gain a positive relationship with your facialist for them to really understand what your skin is comfortable tolerating and to work your way up from there. When I sat down with Emily, she communicated to me that instead of going with a powerful exfoliating treatment, which I knew my skin would probably be able to handle, while my skin can throw hissy fits, it's not sensitive and it can tolerate, like a good treatment. She decided to play it safe and go with the gentle exfoliating treatment instead, which I thought was a great indicator that she is an amazing person to get a facial from. So after I did my little consultation with her, I laid down on the bed and let her start giving me the facial. And she started asking me questions about my different preferences, like if I wanted music, if I wanted to talk, not speak. And most importantly, with everything that she was doing, she asked me first if it was okay. It is so important to speak up if you're uncomfortable with anything that the facialist is doing. And as a people pleaser myself, I completely understand laying there being like, they know best, I don't want to get in the way. But seriously, if they're doing something that feels uncomfortable, that hurts, or you're worried will have long-term consequences, say something. Remember, you are paying them to help your skin. And if you know something or you're just, bothered by the experience, say something. If you don't believe me, here's a personal story of why you should always speak up. I, at one point before this video, wanted to vlog my first facial experience for you guys. And I decided it would be super fun and YouTube trendy to find a random spot to go to and just wing it. And during this facial, the lady decided to start doing extractions. And if you don't know what extractions are, it is where they take a metal tool, typically in your nose area, and press it really hard on your skin to get all the excess sebum, oil, and blackheads out of your pores. Now, I was very nervous when she started doing this, and I really wanted to speak up and say that I did not want extractions because I was worried, I forever ago tried to do extractions on myself and ended up giving myself permanent scars from it. So I was really nervous, but I was like, you know what? She's the professional, she's the expert. I'm just gonna sit here and let her do her thing. She knows way more about skincare than I do. My skin was destroyed. It was so red afterwards. There were red marks all over my face. It really was not a comfortable experience and just not something that I wanted when I sat down to get that facial. And I suffered the consequences afterwards because of it. So learn from my mistake. Do not be a people pleaser like me. Say something if you are uncomfortable. Here's another tip to save you some money. It's very common, especially if you go to a spa, that they're gonna recommend you buy whatever products that they have for sale there. A lot of times these products will tend to be very expensive, and it's not unusual for them to recommend that you start an entire new routine and buy a bunch of these fancy expensive products. And I would say for your first facial, don't do it. Even when I was with Emily, she had a range of so many incredible skincare products, and I ended up buying a bunch of them because these were the types of products that I've been looking to test out for a long time. Products that I wanted to review for you guys. But you do not need to do this, especially if you're wanting to save money. And finally, when it comes time to pay, be prepared to tip. Facialists and estheticians are service workers, and especially if they work for a spa, they're only making their hourly rate or a minimal amount, so please tip. So now that you've had your first facial, you're over and done with it, I have one final tip. Stick with the same facialist. Unless you had a really negative experience, they're gonna know your skin and your primary concerns best, and by returning to them and getting in a repeat habit of having those check-ins, they're gonna be able to give the best advice for what you should do with your skin, what type of facials are gonna be best for whichever concerns you have, have and really give you that valuable advice that you can't get out in the world of just shopping for products. If you're constantly hopping around to different facialists, it's unlikely that you're going to see beneficial long-term results. Sticking to one person is going to help you best with that. Now, I know after giving all of these tips, a lot of you guys are going to be like, what recommendations do you have for the price, for the cost? How much should I pay? How much should I not pay? And I hate to be this person, guys, but it really just depends on who you're going to, what type of facial that they're providing, how long the facial is with them, whether it's an independent esthetician or a spa, how luxurious the facility is, where you're located. There are so many factors that go into the price point, and it's very hard to give a finite number of what you should be spending versus what you should not be spending. Now, for my facial with tip, I believe I paid about $150, but depending on what treatments you're getting, that price is really going to change. However, I will say if you're just getting a basic general hydrating facial and you're looking to pay a good price but not too much, I wouldn't spend over $200. On the flip side, if you are paying under like $50 for a facial, that should raise some red flags, because think about it, you're probably going to be down there for like an hour and a half. That's a long time. And if you're paying under $50, there's typically a reason for that. But like I said, there's so many factors that go into it. My biggest recommendation is to shop around. Find a bunch of different places, get different quotes from that, and that will give you a good insight as to how much you should be spending depending on all the factors that I just listed, and just give you a reference point. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of tips. Are you guys overwhelmed? Because I am. No, seriously, I just want to make this process as easy as possible for you and give you as much information that will be helpful in making sure that your first facial experience is amazing, totally worth it, because let's face it, getting a facial is a more luxury experience. Not everyone wants to spend this much money on skincare, and I want to make sure that you get to walk out of your experience like it was worth every penny, and following these guidelines will be really helpful in helping you navigate the very complex world of facials and treatments and give you the results and experience that you want. Like I said before, if you are in the LA area or you're traveling there anytime soon, I would highly recommend going to Emily for Pinnacle Modern Skin. She is so amazing, gave me an absolutely incredible skincare experience. And also I just want to say shout out to Emily, because I filmed this so long ago, but this series and this whole process of getting facials and even just making this video took me forever. It was a long process and she has been incredibly patient. So shout out to her. Please go follow her Instagram, show her some love. Also, I'm so excited for this series. You guys are always asking me for recommendations and advice when it comes to facials. And I feel like I've made so much content about skincare products, but really haven't dived into this world. And I would absolutely love to show you guys this process so I can give you tips and tricks to save you money, but get you good results. And if you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. And I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.